You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm joined by Joe Bradley and Phil Doran of Bradley, Drendel, Jeanney. So excited to have you guys here this afternoon. A very important topic for us to discuss, and that is auto insurance and the coverage that someone has.
Yes. Well, first, thanks for having us. We deal with automobile insurance coverage every single day, whether it's advising people about what their coverage is or trying to determine in an accident what the opposing driver has. And in the state of Nevada, you're required to, in order to register your car, you have to have bodily injury limits of $25.50. That means if one person is injured, there's $25,000 to cover that person's injuries and losses. If there was a car full of people, there's $50,000 available for the group of people in there with no person capable of receiving more than the $25,000.
Okay. So the $50,000 is to cover everybody in the car, but no one person can exceed $25,000.
That's correct. Okay. And those are the bare minimum limits in the state of Nevada that you have to have. Frankly, we consider that underinsured. Okay. We like to see people, you know, especially if they have assets. The reason we have automobile insurance coverage is to protect our assets in the event that we cause an injury. And if we have substantial wealth, then you have to have insurance to protect that, because you don't want somebody coming after your bank account.
100%. And Phil, you were saying that there are people who come into your office and they say, oh, we have full coverage.
That's correct. So somebody gets in an accident and they give us a call and they say, this is what happened, I was rear-ended, and they go, but I'm fully covered. And I'm like, okay, so what does that mean to you? And they say, well, my insurance agent said I have full coverage. Full coverage for us is having uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage, and hopefully MedPay. Uninsured motorist coverage is when the other driver, the person who caused the accident, does not carry an insurance policy. Underinsured is if they don't carry enough insurance.
Like what you were saying, Joe, if they have the $25.50 and it might not be Often
it is not enough to cover. And so therefore what we will do is, once we determine that the third party doesn't have adequate coverage, we'll move into our client's insurance policy and see how much un- or underinsured motorist coverage they have, how much MedPay they have. I tell people, I think the two most important insurance coverages that you can have is and underinsured motorist coverage, because that covers us. When you buy bodily injury coverage, you're insuring everybody else in the world against your negligence. When you get and underinsured motorist coverage, you're protecting you and your family from everybody else in the world that might hurt you.
That is a great anecdote, a great way to explain it. And nobody thinks they're going to get into a car wreck. Nobody thinks that it's going to happen. But I mean, speaking personally, I was in a 3-car pileup, middle car, the guy hits me, I hit someone else, and the guy who hit me didn't have insurance. And it seems like that's something that's really prevalent nowadays.
To be perfectly honest with you, it's a huge problem across the country, the and underinsured motorist driver. It's such a big issue that the Nevada state legislature says that you have to be offered underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage up to the amount of your bodily injury limit. If you want to decline that, which we encourage nobody to do, you have to sign in writing that you don't want un- or underinsured motorist coverage, because the un- or underinsured driver is a huge societal problem.
Mm-hmm. So Phil, if folks are watching this at home and they pull out their insurance coverage policy, what do they need to be looking for? Is there specific verbiage that lets them know?
There is. So if you go to whatever it is, the app on any insurance company, and you scroll down to other coverages, or probably most of the time lower on the page, you'll find something that's labeled UM/UIM. And if there is a number next to it, you're in luck. You have uninsured motorist coverage. And if there's a rejected, then you probably need to contact your insurance agent and get it as soon as possible, because it is a real risk. And for a very small amount of money, it provides an incredible peace of mind.
And what happens to somebody if they are hit by an underinsured or uninsured person?
That's why it's such great coverage, and why MedPay is such great coverage. if that coverage follows you everywhere, if you're injured as the result of the operation of a motor vehicle, if you're a pedestrian, your and underinsured motorist coverage will follow you, as will your med pay. If you're in somebody else's car, or if you're in your own car and the person that hits you doesn't have coverage, then your and underinsured motorist will follow you, and so will your med pay. The beautiful thing about med pay coverage is, unlike your group health policy, we have to pay that back at the end of the case. Med pay that you have on your auto policy, if you use that to pay for some of your medical bills and so on when you seek treatment after an accident, we don't have to pay that back.
Such a great conversation, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Joe, Phil, you're watching 2+U Nevada.